Hi everyone, Steve Brown here, and in this video I just want to talk about the way small business owners and local business owners tend to react when there's pressure on, when sales aren't going the way they should do, sales are down, cash flow is tight, and the way we react as local business owners, because it's important that you get this right. What tends to happen is most people panic, they do the wrong things, and they start throwing money at different marketing channels, and basically they go into a bit of a panic. And this isn't why you're in business. This is the one time when most professional people will tell you that you should have a strategic marketing plan, a strategy that's going to pull you out of it. So all I want to do in a short series of videos is give you some tips of the way that you can turn your business around and put yourself back to where you want to be. So the first one we're going to look at is just existing customers, because what tends to happen is we're so busy being in our business that we actually forget to look at the business as a whole. So these existing customers, these existing clients have purchased off you for a reason. Something has given them a signal to go ahead and make that purchase. So one of the things that you could do as a local business owner is simply contact some existing customers, or certainly customers that are coming through the door now, and start asking them some basic questions. So here's one simple question that you can be asking your customers. Ask them to give you 3 reasons as to why they've just purchased off you. Did they buy off you for price? Did they buy off you because they trust you? Did they buy off you because you just happen to be convenient for them? Have they bought off you because you delivered great value for money? Have they delivered off you because you built up a fantastic local reputation? Why are these customers buying off you? It's important that you understand why. And then conversely, every business has faults. So you need to find out, ask them, give me 3 things that I could be doing better. What are my faults? It could be something as simple as you supply furniture and it's flat packed. And maybe that's what you do. They come to your premises, they buy this furniture, they take it home and they have to assemble it. Well, maybe one of the things that they don't like is the fact that some of your customers would have preferred it had you supplied a service whereby you send someone out and build it for them in their homes. So it's an add-on service, for an add-on cost, somebody can come and put it together for them because they're not very good with tools. So whilst they like the furniture, the fact that you supply it flat packed is an inconvenience for them. Everybody can be improved. But also what happens is when people are giving you this feedback, they're also telling you possibly other products, other services that you could be creating. Let's give another example. And I know a lot of solicitors actually do this anyway, but let's just talk about solicitors. You go along to a solicitor and they provide you with a will. So you've sat there, you've taken a couple of hours, you put together this will, and the solicitor says, yep, there's your copy, and keep it safe. So maybe some of the add-on services are that the solicitor keeps a duplicate copy. The solicitor keeps the master copy and gives you a duplicate copy. Maybe the solicitor arranges a service whereby they will contact you annually and they will talk to you over the phone. So there's no need to come to the office. They will just provide a service where they'll contact you over the phone and check the fact that your will is still exactly the same as you set it up. Maybe there's some tweaks or changes. Now the solicitor themselves doesn't have to do that. They're on £100 an hour maybe for their costs for running the business, but maybe their secretary, one of their PAs, they could actually go out and make that phone call at £8 an hour, not the £100 an hour. So there's different ways of developing products and services, and that's just one thing. But by doing all of this, what you're doing is you're finding out about your customers. You're finding out what they want and what they don't want, what was missing. Another good way of doing it, ask your customers, give me 3 things that you like about my competitors, 3 things that you don't like about my competitors. Because I'll guarantee you in any local environment, in any local city, your competitors are doing something that they like, but they're also doing lots of things that they don't like, which is why they came to you. So you need to find out what these strengths and weaknesses are, because by packaging that together, you can strengthen your brand and your value for money, whilst at the same time making sure that you take away all the negatives, all the things that they don't like about your business. Continual improvement. And I want to give you an example of this that happened to me in real business, because whilst I was a supervisor in Ford Motor Company, I used to actually run a couple of coffee businesses on the side, a couple of coffee shops. And these were high-end coffee shops. We set them up to run as something appealing to people that wanted an experience. We really wanted people to come in and experience the shop. So it was set up with a jazz and blues theme. We had jazz and blues music playing in the background on TVs. So when people come in, they had an atmosphere. We went and bought what we consider to be the best coffee, the best blender coffee. We offered over 30 different types of coffee, over 20 different types of tea. The food was high-end. The whole thing was about an experience. But we'd actually opened the first of these shops. It was opened up by office blocks, etc., so that we'd have lunchtime trade. Now, anybody who's in the restaurant business will know that lunchtime is your busiest time. It's where you make your most money. But we had a problem. We created our own problem for ourselves, because the whole idea was to come in and experience the place, which meant that people wanted to sit around. And also, anybody that knows about the office environment, you've got a limited time. You've got to come out the office, have your food, get back, carry on with your work. So the problem we had was, they loved the place. They really did enjoy coming to have food with us and experience it. We created the right environment, but the problem was they all arrived at the same time, and we just couldn't serve them fast enough. So what was happening was, these people were having to go elsewhere, not because they wanted to out of choice, but because we gave them no choice, because once they arrived and saw the queue at the door, it wasn't worth them hanging round, because their lunchtime would disappear. So what we did was, we set up a system whereby we said to them, fine, why don't you phone us first of all with your order? And if you phone your order in and tell us exactly what time you come in, even though we're just a cafe and we're not a restaurant, we'll book a table for you. We'll set a table aside. We'll reserve it for you. So this started working. Now, people who've been to restaurants, we've all been to restaurants, you're going to say, but Steve, that's an obvious one. Yes, it was, but it wasn't obvious to us because we were a cafe. We weren't a restaurant. We didn't do table bookings. But by doing this, we started improving the system, because what would happen now, these regulars from the office block would phone through and say, right, Steve, yep, we're going to be there at 12:30. There's going to be 6 of us, and these are all the foods that we'd like. So things like the cold foods we could prepare ready, half an hour before. So we could now have the sandwiches, and the different stuff ready, and the cooked stuff we could cook literally 5 minutes before we got there. So it was a constant, steady, efficient flow, so that the moment they arrived, they could just say hi, we could sit them down, food would come straight out, they could enjoy their experience and go straight back to the office, so we didn't lose that custom. Now, the next step from that was, obviously then, what we learned from that was, well, rather than wait for them to phone us, we would phone them. And the reason we would phone them is because sometimes they may have been considering coming down to us, but now they're getting distracted, and then they think, oh, we haven't booked, so I won't bother today. So what we started doing is providing a service whereby we would phone them on a daily basis, just seeing if you're coming down today. And this increased the lunchtime traffic, because now people that were procrastinating or were being sidetracked, they would now confirm a booking. So we were filling more and more tables over dinner time and reserving it. Plus we were being more efficient, so we could get them in and get them out far more efficiently. And that was working. But if you've ever worked in those sort of environments, those office environments, you'll also know there are times when you just cannot get out the office. And obviously the next transition that we could have gone on to there was be a delivery service. And in fact, for very local people, local businesses that were right alongside us, we used to literally run up the road with the stuff that they'd ordered on the phone. So there was lots of other things we could have done to develop that, whereby we could have done a delivery service, taken it out to them, taken it to their place of work, because at the end of the day, we provided a takeaway service, etc., with a coffee. It would have been easy for us to expand on that and build the business that way. So there are just so many ways that you can improve the profits within your company just by talking to your existing clients, taking the time out, look at your existing customers, your clients, talk to them and ask them, why did they buy from you? What didn't they like about your service? What was missing from your service? What are your competitors doing better? What are your competitors doing worse? And build an overall picture up of what your customers are looking for so that you as your business can provide a better, far more efficient, far more value-added service. I hope you found this tip useful, and have a look at some of the other tips that are also provided in this series. See you in the next video.